All right, good evening. It's 7 o'clock. I call to order the October 11th, 2022 Perry Township Board of Trustees. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please call the roll.
Trustee Hartshorn,
Yes.
trustee Mears,
Yes.
trustee Music.
Yes. All right, we have a guest speaker this evening, speaking on behalf of the citizens for Sinclair.
Thank you very much. I'm gonna take one of the sheets I gave them all to
Just
you.
be careful, if you rattle, it mic picks it up, so.
Thank you very much. My name is Kathy Peterson. I'm here on behalf of Citizens for Sinclair. We are a group of volunteers who are talking to different communities about issue 10, which is on the ballot on November 8th. The renewal levy for Sinclair Community College. And because it's a renewal, it won't raise taxes. I do have a handout for you about Sinclair's impact on Perry Township. Pass them on. Do that if you want. Thank you.
I'll say we can also send them out, do the extra ones, we can send them out in the
Great.
lobby area.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, absolutely. How about over here? Thank you. So on the first part, that is Sinclair College's impact on Perry Township. It just gives some of the data from fiscal year 22 about how many Perry Township residents were enrolled in Sinclair in fiscal year 2022. The number of degrees and certificates that were earned, township residents, number of credits. We also have 28 Perry Township High School students who are enrolled in College Credit Plus. That's where high school students can earn college credit. And then how much tuition savings Perry Township residents had. And then also financial aid that was awarded to Perry Township residents. And then on the back is information about issue 10. Sinclair Community College has two levies, Levy A and Levy B. This is Levy B. It is a renewal, as I mentioned, and it was first on the ballot in 2000. And it will be on the ballot again, as I mentioned, in November. A renewal that won't raise taxes, and it generates $9 million for Sinclair Community College that benefits specifically Montgomery County students and keeps our tuition one of the lowest in the state and provides workforce training, apprenticeships, different programs that benefit the students of Montgomery County. I'm happy to answer any questions for you if you'd like.
No, that's very informative.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
Okay, at this time, I make a motion to accept the consent agenda as submitted.
I'll second that motion.
Trustee Music,
Yes.
trustee Hartshorn,
Yes.
trustee Mears.
Yes.
Fiscal officer report, please.
Okay, so I have a couple of resolutions. The first is I request the trustees to entertain a motion to approve resolution 2242, authorizing creation of funds to receive American Rescue Plan Act funds.
So moved.
Second.
Trustee Mears,
Yes.
trustee Hartshorn.
Yes.
Trustee Music.
Yes.
The second, I request trustees to entertain a motion to approve resolution 2244. Supplemental reallocation of appropriations for September 2022 with a net increase of $9,616.54.
So moved.
Second.
Trustee Music,
Yes.
trustee Hartshorn.
Yes.
Trustee Mears. The third one is I request trustees to entertain a motion to approve resolution 2245, a resolution to increase funds and appropriation in the fire district fund 2111 for more monies received than originally reported on our certificate of estimated resources in the amount of $7,453.80.
So moved.
Second.
Trustee Mears,
Yes.
trustee Hartshorn,
Yes.
trustee Music.
Yes.
And then finally, I request the trustees to entertain a motion to approve resolution 2246 to increase the funds and appropriations from $265,853 to $272,853, an increase of $7,458.80 to account code.
That doesn't add up.
Okay, I must have missed it when I did the 80 cents.
Yeah, I think that's all we missed was the.
Yeah, the 80 cents.
Let's be clear.
An increase of $7,453.80 to account code 2111-220-370-0000.
So moved.
I'll second.
Trustee Hartshorn or trustee Music,
Yes.
trustee Hartshorn,
Yes.
trustee Mears.
Yes.
And then just a few other items. I've been working with trustee Mears, the city of Brookville, the village of New Lebanon, and the Board of Elections to gather and compose data regarding our upcoming fire and EMS levy. All of this data has been uploaded and is available for review on our website. I completed the CPA client pool sheet and awarded the client preference points with regards to our upcoming audit, waiting to hear back from the Ohio Auditor of State's office as to who has been awarded the contract for the township biennial audit. And I attended a webinar from the OTA reconciliation of and proof of cash. And there is one training I anticipate attending this month for OTA investing in portfolio management.
Excellent. Thank you. Road and cemetery report, please.
Resolution 42.
Cemetery, we had 2 cremations and a full burial at Pleasant Hill Cemetery. Completed our fall foundation pour. We also completed our fall cleanup. Our next cleanup is March 1st. We received our Durapatcher and Bobcat. Been Durapatching our cemetery and our troubled spots on the roadways. We will receive the crack sealer tomorrow morning and we'll start working on the roads for that. Also request the trustees to entertain a motion to approve resolution 2243 as previously provided.
So moved.
Put there. I'll second it.
Trustee Music,
Yes.
trustee Hartshorn,
Yes.
trustee Mears.
Yes.
And then for equipment, we have continued to go through our dump trucks in preparation for snow and ice. We also received our recently purchased dump truck. Employee Dave Steppe has resigned from his position as a part-time employee. I also request the trustees to entertain a motion to accept the resignation of Dave Steppe effective October 13th, 2022.
So moved.
Trustee Mears,
Yes.
trustee Hartshorn.
Yes.
Trustee Music.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Could you take a moment and just talk about the trucks that we're getting from ODOT?
To talk about them.
Yes, just briefly, what we're getting from ODOT and at what cost?
We got a used dump truck from ODOT. They're roughly 10 years old, give or take some miles. This one has 161,000 miles on it. We got the truck itself for $8,200. Strokes come with $2,800. The plow's completely rebuilt. The trip edge, the springs, all the steel, everything. They went over it, welded anything that was cracked. They also put a new blade on it, which for our township, we probably will never have to change them, which is a big help for us. That we got another pickup truck that we can use to pull our equipment over. We can pull around in the summertime. We don't have to use our 1-ton dump, which is a big help. We got that for $1,400. So all said and done, it was $17,200. So saved quite a bit on a dump truck, and it's still very, very useful. It upgraded our our wedding system. We didn't have a wedding system, we couldn't run brine or beat through it. These trucks are set up with 180 gallon tanks, so we can do that as well. So that was a huge upgrade for Perry Township, so.
The dump truck that you got, that's the one that's got the rusted out bumper. That's the one you got from the.
We can't have questions right now. We'll have questions at the end. Thank you.
So that, I mean, it's not perfect, but it is a long shot ahead of where we're at, so. Stainless steel bed on it was worth what we paid for it.
All right, great. Thank you so much. Police department report.
We're still working on our September stats. They'll be posted to our website here soon. In September, I attended the instructional skills course from September 12th through the 23rd. I've updated our domestic violence stats, for September. I asked the trustees to entertain a motion to accept Officer Dylan Tharp position from a full-time to a part-time to move to a $16 an hour. It was an effective date of 10/3/22.
So moved.
Second,
Trustee Music,
yes.
trustee Hartshorn.
Yes.
Trustee Mears.
Yes.
I also asked the board to entertain a motion to accept Officer Stephen Biscardi as a full-time officer with an effect or with a rate of $18 per hour with an effective date of 10/10/22.
So moved.
Second,
Trustee Music,
yes.
trustee Hartshorn.
Yes.
Trustee Mears.
No. Nay.
I asked the Board of Trustees to entertain one more motion, and that's for Sergeant Brian Douglas to go full-time starting October 31st at a rate of $22.50 an hour.
So moved.
Second.
Trustee Mears.
Yes.
Trustee Hartshorn.
Yes.
Trustee Music.
Yes. I received and reviewed a complaint from a citizen that was determined that there were no violation of policy or racial profiling that was alleged. I've ordered our ballistic shield, completed several public records requests, completed a grant through Otarma. It was for $500, and that's going to go towards covering some of the cost for software that we currently use. Completed our OVI paperwork and emailed from September, which has concluded the OVI contract for last year and this year. The new contract, if it's not already available, it'll be available here the upcoming weeks. So I'll get that and have ask the board to sign off on that. For the month of September, I worked 177.5 hours, used a total of 16 hours of sick time and 80 hours of training time. That's all I have.
Thank you so much. Zoning report, please.
Okay. The Perry Township Administration Office will be closed next week because I'm going to be on vacation. And the office will reopen on Monday, the 24th at 8 a.m. The fourth quarter trash bills were sent out September 30th, 2022. And a reminder for those residents who go to Florida or wherever for the winter months, to please contact me so that we can suspend the trash pickup while they're away. There is a BZA hearing set for this Thursday, the 13th at 7 p.m. and it's regarding a lot split. I have 5 pending permits. I've issued 1 shed and 1 garage extension since last trustee meeting. And again, I want to remind everybody to please check with the office here before building or putting up a pool or getting a shipping container or anything else to see if you need a permit. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Just a friendly reminder, if you're contacting regarding garbage, please try to contact the police department, let them know as well, so that they can keep an eye on the properties when you're out of the area.
Correct.
Okay, trustee reports. In the last month, I continued to administer and update the township social media, perform general IT management, maintenance, and upkeep of township systems.
I worked the development of the neighborhood watch survey with Oasis, which is now up on the website and cross-posted to our Facebook. Continue to perform weekly inspections of road, cemeteries, and nuisance properties. I developed content for the canine handler contract for the prosecutor's office to develop the contract between the township and Sergeant Douglas. Continue to research on public benefits and compensation for Montgomery County municipalities for their police chiefs and acting police chiefs. Attended a police investigation of an incident in the middle of the night in the township residence property. And worked with Chief Littleton on a new time card process for the Township Police Department. I attended a webinar called Where Trustee Responsibility Ends and the Fiscal Officer Begins. They did provide slides, which I sent for distribution to the other trustees and fiscal officer. I do have an OPWC meeting scheduled on November 2nd. And that is when all the projects in the county are going to start being scored. So more to come on that. And that is all that I have. Trustee Mears.
Okay, fiscal officer and Ms. Grill and myself have been working with the fire departments, trying to set up some meetings that didn't come through like we were hoping. So Ms. Grill has been working, putting things on the website. So please, everybody check the website for information on the fire levies. If you have any questions, either give their offices calls. They're one, they'll answer your questions. Met with Mr. Hoops, with Ms. Grill, went over a couple of things. And Mr. Hoops and myself still have to go look at roads. That's all I got.
Thank you. Trustee Music.
I attended a acronym BEAD, BEAD. Stands for Broadband Equity Access and Deployment. It was a government and industry panel webinar. Basically, there is a lot of money coming to the state of Ohio from the federal government to increase broadband throughout underserved and underserved areas. I spoke with Representative Plummer this morning. He said that, we are still going to work together on this. Currently, the FCC is responsible for updating the new broadband maps for this money to be allocated in the right areas. So we're still waiting on that. This is a 5-year plan. So the first step is, once the maps are done, figure out how we're going to spend it. That's where we're at on that. I also spoke with Chief Fletcher, Brookville Fire Department, regarding just some questions I had about the levy and the fire department. And if any resident is, to reiterate Trustee Mears, if any resident has questions, both fire departments are open books. Come ask them. They're more than willing to answer any questions you guys have.
Thank you. All right, at this time, old business. Any old business? Okay. I will.
You got new business?
Old business.
You're just in old business.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm just old business.
Okay,
Yeah.
very good. Sorry.
Since we did discuss previously having Sergeant Douglas be our K-9 handler for the township, I wanted to see if there was any other comments, questions that the other trustees had regarding having him in that role. Okay, so at this time, I'd like to make a motion to extend a contract to Sergeant Douglas to be a K-9 handler for Perry Township.
Your motion?
I made a motion. Yeah.
I'll second that motion. Yes, absolutely.
Trustee Music,
Yes.
trustee Hartshorn,
Yes.
trustee Mears.
Yes.
All right, new business.
So I want to talk about cemeteries for just a brief moment. I was tasked with representing people of Perry Township, and when I hear what they want, it's my job to express that. So I had a meeting with residents back after Memorial Day. There was a lot of things discussed, and we tried to make it pretty clear that there was going to be cleanings twice a year, March 1st and October 1st. And I played the role of trustee upholding our policies. And now that we're in the segment cleaning, I have a hard time with the policy of removing flowers off of a grave just for the act of removing flowers from a grave twice a year. I understand, I can kind of justify a spring cleaning, getting ready for mowing. But I can't really justify in October taking some flowers out of their pot that's attached to their gravestone and throwing it away. So what I ask is that the other trustees think about it. I could be completely wrong here, and this could turn into a complete crapshoot with overrun flowers and gravestones. And I completely understand that. And if it gets to that point, okay, maybe we can readdress it again, and maybe I've just not been around long enough to see that. But I would like the other trustees to at least entertain the idea of amending that policy of cleaning off gravestones twice a year. If it is on the gravestone, it's properly placed. I feel the township has no business touching them. And I'll rest on that.
So question,
Mhm.
if they put fresh flowers out there and they die, we just leave them there perpetually?
That is your grave that you put flowers on.
They don't mow it, they don't maintain it.
They don't.
So that's not completely accurate.
It's not. If that's how you want to represent your family member or memorialize them, I feel like. it's kind of on you.
So I'm gonna ask you, we have finite resources.
Mhm.
We contract out the mowing.
Yep.
And if things aren't cleaned up with some regularity,
Sure.
they won't mow.
I'm not saying that if they're on the ground, we don't touch it. We don't touch it because it fell off and it could have fell off this one. If it's on the ground, we clean it up just like we always would. But twice a year to physically walk each grave and pull flowers out of each one, I have a problem with, and I don't believe we should do it.
Yeah, we've been doing it for decades,
That's fine.
well before anyone on this panel. And it's a method of maintaining the cemeteries. Because if we let things go in perpetuity,
I understand that
you're gonna have.
there's probably a reason for that.
What
policy.
happened? So I'm gonna play devil's advocate
Mhm.
and say, what happens if someone puts a bunch of flowers on their headstone? They die, they start to smell in the summer sun or whatever else. And other residents that have around that grave start to complain, then what? Are you gonna spend all of your time pivoting and flip-flopping back and forth?
I would
To
rather.
try to make, hold on,
Go ahead.
to make people happy. Or to understand that as a trustee of this township, our duty is to the entirety of the township to include how we spend resources, both manpower and money. And understand that something as simple as leaving things on the headstone will have a ripple effect. It will increase man hours worked. It will increase likely complaints because of the people that don't like the stuff being all over there because they pay for a clean cemetery. So I will consider what you proposed, but I'm gonna ask you to take 3 steps back and look at the entirety of the ripple of that single pebble, because it's not as simple as just letting people leave stuff on the headstone. I wish it was. You're talking about running cemeteries that have been run this way for a very long time because of limited resources and limited funds. So we can revisit this in a month or two. I have no problem with that, but I would ask you the same consideration that you asked of us to understand the impacts of such a thing.
Like I
Because
said, I may not have been around long enough to know that there's already been ripple effects. But what I can say is I don't feel good about it. And I would much rather have the conversation of why your single grave maybe than why we went through and handpicked every single one. Because if you talk man hours, that took man hours. If we got to complain, we have to go out and clean one headstone. That's not as many man hours as walking every single gravestone, picking them off. But I don't really care to debate it. I mean, I just
No,
want to understand my feelings on it. As a representative of Perry Township voters. So that's kind of where I'll watch because I live right by one. And when this winter, because we're not going to touch it again until March. And winter is going to be awful on flowers. On decorations. I just drove out through today. There's flowers out there. Not properly placed, albeit. Those are going to sit there all winter. We're not going to touch them. Right? Because we're not going to mow. So they're going to sit there all winter and probably go all over the place.
they'll blow, yeah, they'll
Right.
end up in the surrounding properties.
They will.
I'm sure everybody around there loves.
But we're
I mean, we go through, we pick stuff up. If it blows all over, we don't just leave them go.
Right.
I mean,
And you don't, when October first comes, it's not like you don't ever go to the cemetery again. You guys always do a drive-through. I know you do.
it's what- I mean, if we're not doing something in the cemetery, we're through there at least 3 times a week. That's every cemetery looking at just to check up on it. Like if there's stuff laying out. You don't know, a tree fell over, we just are always checking on it, but it's not we try to keep it cleaned up, picked up.
And Zach, I have to say, I see what you're saying or whoever is talking to you. I can see that, but with Amanda owning the flower shop, it kind of opened my eyes. Because somebody from New York will call in and order spray. And we'll go out and put the spray on the headstone. That stays there until all next year until they all again in November. And it's Thanksgiving or Christmas. And it just doesn't look good. And then, I mean, I trust me, I know what you're saying. And I thought the same thing, and Mr. Hoops and myself had this conversation. And like we said, it's called a redo. You take it off, we're coming the first, you take it off, put it back on the second. But I understand, but that to me, that's what we've said, the rules.
Right, it's hard for
I know.
me to go,
Yes.
I'm not going out there just to rip them off because I think it's great, it's fun. It's not enjoyable for me to go out there and be like, man, these look kind of dead. They kind of look like I can't be wishy-washy one way. I can't pick up this grave and these are brand new flowers and then this one looks, oh, they look like they placed yesterday. I can't. How do you justify that when somebody else could be just as mad?
And let me clarify, this is not an attack on Caleb.
No, I know
He is
that. No.
upholding our policy as we
You have
have it.
somebody that's saying something and you.
And I agree. So
I understand.
So the one thing that I'll ask is, it's kind of funny because this isn't even what started the complaints back after Memorial Day.
it's not.
So
It's not
that's
that we
completely pivoted away from that, and now we're on leaving stuff in perpetuity on it.
I had the discussion. I was very clear about March 1st, October 1st. And I was waiting. I even called Caleb on last week, had a conversation with him before we cleaned them. Just to follow up with him on what we were doing. Because I still didn't feel good about it. I didn't feel good telling people sitting here that, guys, we're gonna take all your flowers October 1st. If it's properly placed, if they got it where we asked it.
There's signs in every cemetery now. We've got it posted on social media websites. We've got it posted here in the township building.
Very clear.
It's literally everywhere now. So if I have a hard time leaning into your position just because it's a known policy.
Right.
And once you flip a known policy, then what's the next known policy?
Well,
And then what doors do you open from there? It's a slippery slope. So just something to consider, and we will revisit this in a month. or
And it
two.
is also sent out with, if you come in to get a plot, that's sent with the deed too.
Right.
Understand. So that's rest of my case.
Any other new business?
Is this new business?
Yes,
Yes. Where'd you get the signs in your yard?
I had them from last year.
Oh, well, Dave.
Yeah. I know Ms. Burleson has the
She's got them?
signs. Yeah, she's the one who bought them last year and she has them all and she's can give her a call
Okay, thank
and
you.
get that.
Thank you.
Any other
No, I'm sorry.
new business?
Election. Yeah, we're gonna bring that up, November 8th.
Yep.
Just a reminder, we won't have a meeting since then, or up till then.
Right. We moved the meeting for trustee music and then he won't be there when
Be
we're
there.
having the meeting.
Apologize. Sorry,
There's that effort of utility, but I understand.
busy November.
And please, if anybody has any questions on the fire levy, either call us, the chiefs, the city managers from either.
And there's a lot of information on
A lot of information
on the website.
collected and got from them and us and put together. It's on the website. If you can't get on the internet or whatever, call us. We will get you the information.
You can call the
We will
town-
meet with you.
Call the
Yes.
township building. You
Township.
can get numbers for any of the elected officials. But the website does have a lot of information that we've gotten from both New Lebanon and Brookville on this, as well as the stuff that we collected prior to putting the issue on the ballot. So we will be working here in the near future, probably the next day or two, to pull down the language that's going to be on the ballot and maybe provide an explanation of, because it reads like nothing you've ever really read before. If you stop and read these issues, how they're developed. they're complicated, they're confusing. But we have worked with the county up to this point and to clarify that. And I will say that after this year's election, that all changes for the levies. So levies will cost more in future years because of how the state changed, how it has to be issued on both the ballot and how it has to exist. So
And if anybody wants to explore that further, they can look into House Bill 140.
yes,
It kind of goes into a little bit more detail.
Ohio House Bill 140. Get to know it. It is it's going to really put a pinch on smaller municipalities and other services that are provided at the county level. So
One more thing I want to add on that. If you get on your smartphones, Ohio Voter Info app is very informative. You can put your name in. It links you to the Board of Elections. And right now the current ballot is up, so you can look at the sample, click on sample ballot. It will tell you everything that is on, including issue 10.
if you don't have a smartphone, you can go to mcboe.org and navigate through to the current election. It'll list the issues. You can look up your information. If you submitted a mail-in absentee application, it'll show you the status of that. Just everything that you need is you can either use the smartphone app or you can go to the website itself. So please take an interest and be informed
And get out and vote.
and get out and vote. Can't forget that.
Yeah.
Okay, any other new business? New business? Okay, visitors. Get the form, please. Yep. Okay. Mrs. Peterson, you already spoke, yes?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Acker. All questions and comments will be capped at 3 minutes. Any questions that you have can be submitted for us to respond to you.
No problem. It'll be a lot shorter than that. I've seen voting signage like vote for this particular judge, vote for that particular judge. Is the committee, I think that's what the word I want to use, is the committee providing those signage, or where do we get those signage? If we want a sign that put in our yard that says vote for the fire levy, or is that something I have to purchase myself?
So the fire levy signs, there's a resident, Miss Bonnie Bertelson. We have her contact info. We can provide it after the meeting. She has a small committee that paid for a number of signs for around the township for the fire levy specifically. If you're looking for something regarding a different person that's running for election,
No,
just the fire levy. Okay, I just want to make sure. Okay,
that's what I was looking for. Okay. And is her contact on the website?
no,
She's a citizen of Perry.
she's a
Township.
citizen and we can't advertise that. So anyone who has a question can contact the township building and we can provide that, but we'll provide it to you after this meeting.
Okay, great.
Right.
The only other question I had was, and I wrote this out, and it's more for clarification. In the fund summary for August. Let me see if I got this right. The balance. Ending fund balance was 1,420,379. The reserve encumbrance is 545,785. The unencumbered balance is 874,591. So when I read this, do I understand this, that the 874,000 is not earmarked for something already? Not that it can't be earmarked for something.
Okay, so a lot of the unencumbered.
Mhm.
Okay, the unencumbered is like salaries, medical expenses, assets, or not assets, but revenue that can't be spent for maintaining anything. It has to go to specific things, but they're not put into a purchase order, is what it is.
Okay.
The encumbered means that it's been assigned to a specific purpose and requires a purchase order to do so, to make those purchases.
Okay.
The unencumbered are expenses that we know we're gonna have, but we don't know, those vary. So we don't do purchase orders for salary, medical expenses, dental expenses, those types of things.
Okay. Okay, I got it. That's all I needed to know.
Thank you. Ms. Brumback.
Thank you, Mr. Hartshorn. Did you say that that one truck only cost us $8,200? And both of them together was 17,000?
It was there's.
The whole package, right.
The whole package of everything. So it's lights,
Oh.
it's wedding system, it's
Way to
the
go.
plow, it's the truck, plus a little pickup truck. So.
Last meeting, Ms. Mears, you had said something about you wanted a new sign for one of the cemeteries where the sign had to be taken down. What happened with that?
Well, we have a temporary sign up now, and the gentleman that I have talked to, he's not, just got married Saturday. He's an older gentleman, but still, but give or take, I'm hoping he comes out this winter, so we haven't decided yet, what we want to do with it. He's hopefully gonna hand paint it,
Oh, that'd be nice.
yes.
Ms. Kaler, if somebody adjacent to me has been zoned for business, do I have to get zoned for business, or does that mean that that whole area is zoned for business?
That would be just that in particular
Lot,
property, right?
okay. And the House bill is 140. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, that is all of the visitors that had said that they wanted to speak. So at this time, in accordance with Ohio Revised Code Section 121.22, paragraph G1, I move that we adjourn into executive session to discuss the compensation of a public employee.
Trustee Mears,
Yes.
trustee Hartshorn,
Yes.
trustee Music.
Yes.
All right, at this time, I make a motion to return to regular session.
Trustee Mears,
Yes.
trustee Hartshorn,
Yes.
trustee Music.
Yes.
At this time, I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Trustee Music,
Yes.
trustee Hartshorn.
Yes.
Trustee Mears.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
All right.